I miss the pan to the window, literally and figuratively. And apparently, you guys, with all these things that I'm seeing across social media and the internet and the ethers, okay, I'm not the only one. I think it's worth talking about, don't you?
Yeah, Archie's briefings, Story Lab. Let's talk about it.
All right, you guys, welcome back to the podcast of Archie's Briefings and to the channel of Archie's Story Lab. Definitely take the time to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so that way you guys are always up to date when episodes are coming out. I podcast Tuesdays and Thursdays because your girl does have a day job. Like this video, share this video. Please try to stick with me to the end so that way you guys can see exactly where my head is. Of course, head over to my Substack of Archie Story Lab as well, where you guys will have access to my short stories, my op-eds, and see where the inspiration and all the artistic stuff that I'm doing. Like you'll be able to see my train of thought here and the entertainment stuff that I do over on the Substack. So head over there, subscribe. Everything is free over there. So go ahead, subscribe today. And I got to earn it. I hope I've earned it by the end of this video. Now, let's go ahead and let's take this dive together. Okay. Now, what did I mean when I say I miss the pan to the window, literally and figuratively? Well, first, in order to understand this metaphor, we got to talk about what the pan to the window is. Okay. Panning to the window. Back in the day, characters would kiss on screen, a shirt might come undone, a shirt might come off, there would be a passionate kiss, and then you would slowly pan to the window. This would give the indication that, there's a bit of, to quote Glenda Jackson, a bit of slight screwing going on between the characters. But you see, the audiences were always smart enough to understand that's what was happening. But when a child walked into the room, they never had any clue. Okay. 1 second the characters are kissing, the next scene between the two of them, we as adults know what happened, but the child has no idea. Now, that's what pan to the window is. And there are other artistic ways to get the same kind of a concept across, but really just for the sake of the metaphor, you guys know what I mean now when I say pan to the window. You guys get it, okay? Now, what do I mean when I say this? I believe this literally as well. I miss it. Well, I mean, I'm kind of over the over sexualization that's taking place in real life as well. And I'm not the only one because apparently there's a modest summer afoot. And there are some women out here who are not happy about it because, of course, like the feminists do, they equate this to the patriarchy. It's because of the men. It's because the women who choose to be modest are pick-me's. It's because of a man why women are choosing to be more modest, and not because they're just sick and tired of being ogled, not just because they're sick and tired of being naked all the time, right? Not just because that they're sick and tired of getting all of the wrong kind of attention. It can't just be because a woman wants to feel modest and be modest and not be looking pretty out here just for the sake of the male gaze. Like, because I can make that argument about the women out here who dress like they're 304s. Like, I could say you're doing this specifically for the male gaze. You make the same argument of me as a modest dresser, but I can make that very argument about you. So who's really correct here? Like, come on. You want to be able to do what you want when you want and not be judged. Well, then why are you judging the person who chooses not to be exactly like you? The issue with the collective. You think your collective is better than the collective that is choosing to be modest. But the individual woman is saying, I low-key just don't want to be naked out here. I'm tired of it, or I just never done it. I didn't see the appeal to it, so I didn't dress that way. Okay, leave something to the imagination. So now the two examples I'm going to go over, maybe not even just two, there could be three examples, you guys. I think there's going to be three. The first one we're going to talk about is this movie Oppenheimer. It came out a few years ago. There's major controversy that surrounded this movie because of the sex scenes that took place in this. Okay. It was just outrageous. Christopher Nolan is a phenomenal filmmaker. I think his work is fantastic. I think he is a creative genius.
Your genius is showing.
When it came to this particular movie, I was upset with him because honestly, dude, why did you need sex scenes in order to make people understand what characters were feeling? This is a movie about a man who made a bomb. How does sex scenes play a part in that? Seriously, it was unnecessary. I don't care how clever you were in integrating sex with bombs, okay? It wasn't necessary. And you chose to do that. The other example, you guys, is the Houston Rodeo. It was a choice for women to go out there looking like cowgirl 304s.
Who does that?
They took what is just a regular thing for women in the South and in the West, right? Just wearing the cowgirl hat, shorts, and boots. Like that's what women wear. They perverted that. You look like a perverted version of the thing you're dressing as, something right out of a soft porn movie, and it was unnecessary to the point where there had to be a dress code just to continue the event. It's insane. To the now hood prom thing, okay? Proms are supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be about how much dresses are going to cost and whether or not parents are going to be able to afford these things, and how awesome it is to be so over COVID that young people can enjoy their proms again, right? That's what the stories should have been. Instead, this is about young women being barred from their proms because they out here looking naked.
And you dress like a whore.
And everybody from whites, blacks, males, females coming out saying they've had it up to here. Could we please start leaving things back to the imagination? So let's start with the movie Oppenheimer, okay? Brought to us by Christopher Nolan. This is the same director who brought us the Dark Knight series, okay? Who gave us the movie Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio. He gave us Interstellar with Anne Hathaway and Matthew McConaughey, right? Phenomenal actors, okay? I think Jessica Chastain was in this movie as well. Phenomenal actors, phenomenal film. I thought it was fantastic. This really showcases his genius and just what he was trying to capture. I mean, certain scenes were just so brilliant, just from a wide shot. Like, it was incredible. He didn't have to use sex in order to capture the message or the meaning, to translate that over to the audience. Like, you didn't have to do that to provoke the emotion that you wanted. You didn't need to do that, which tells me just for this movie, either you decided to do it because you felt like the audience wanted sex scenes, which they clearly didn't because you look at the controversy, or because you were so perverted enough that you wanted this to be the case. Okay? Again, this is a movie about a man who made a bomb. Why did you have to make this about sex scenes? Okay? Like, could you leave something to the imagination a little bit? Okay? Like, there was a story of a woman who went to the theaters with her husband who was a porn addict, okay? And he had to close his eyes because he did not want to give in to the lust demon, as RFK likes to call it, okay? Did not want to give in to it. So the wife told her husband, okay, it's happening, close your eyes. And then when it was over, she'd say, open your eyes again. It happened so often that he had to close his eyes multiple times. These scenes were so graphic that India had to not only put a bunch of black lines in this, they CGI'd a dress onto the naked broad sitting in the chair. A lot of this stuff was unnecessary because if you wanted to capture the subject, perspective, the subjective perspective of the wife and losing dignity and privacy because of the government, you didn't have to use the mistress riding Oppenheimer in the middle of a hearing with the government. Like, spoiler alert. Sorry, I should have said that first. But low key, you didn't have to do any of that. Again, a movie about a man who made a bomb, cheating on his wife. What is the point of that? Okay, the biggest controversy surrounding this movie should have been, did Oppenheimer truly capture the religious story? Did he really capture the spirit of the Hindu religion when he said, I am death, I am the destroyer? Did he really do that? That wasn't the controversy. The sex scenes were. And low-key, the audiences were a bit fed up and they're over it, to the point where during the SAG-AFTRA strike, okay, after Fran Drescher gave her speech, the gentleman that striked along with her, that was a part of heading that strike, said Hollywood's doing too much. Oppenheimer had come out by this point. And he said, they're doing too much. The actors have already been naked several times. Okay, people, this goes back decades. I've seen Deborah Carr naked, which I could have gone my whole life, never seen that movie, which could have gone my whole life. Could have gone. Okay, this movie came out in the 1960s with Deborah Carr and Burt Lancaster, and yes, they did do a second movie together. There was no reason for them to be naked, none. But she was. I couldn't believe it. Like, no wonder Doris Day retired. But this is why. This is insane. Oh gosh, I started to say retarded and ended in insane. That's how insane and retarded this whole thing is. Okay, we done seen Anne Hathaway naked. I saw Julie Andrews topless. Okay, we're talking Mary Poppins. This was the movie SOB, directed by her then husband Blake Edwards. He passed away. Unnecessary, totally unnecessary. But we tolerated it, okay? Because you managed somehow to keep it away from the children. You managed to do it, okay? But now it's on the TVs, it's in the music videos, it's on Broadway, and you're just getting graphic even more. And it's insane. And we are fed up. You went from just having naked women to now having naked men. I've seen most of these people naked. Like, yo, I feel like I should buy you a cup of coffee before I watch you in your next movie. That's how bad this is. And people are sick of it and they want something different. Not even just us, the consumers, but so do the damn actors. Because even the people of Hollywood are saying Hollywood is doing too much. It's too much, okay? Just way too much. My goodness, it's insane. Leave something to the imagination. Pan to the window. And the thing is, it was allowed to be so crazy, not just in the movies, but from the magazine kind of culture, and not so much magazines anymore, but social media, the way these actors and these performers dress when they get onto the stage, that it's inspiring how people were dressing. Okay, that young women out here thought it was okay to go to the Houston rodeo, to go to their proms damn near half naked.
They're going crazy. They're going crazy.
Okay, butt cheeks out. People can see whether or not you shaved down there or not because you thought it was okay to be half naked. You're being barred from your proms. You are enforcing dress codes that didn't even need to be there. Like, why do I got to tell grown ass people to put on some clothes at a family friendly event?
I look like a slut.
Why do I have to put out a dress code for teenagers whose parents should know they can't come here dressed like Megan Thee Stallion or Nicki Minaj or Sydney Sweeney for that matter, boobs out where everybody can see it? I mean, Sydney Sweeney says she loves doing nude scenes. She loves doing nude scenes and she's going to keep on doing nudity, and then wonders why no one wants to see her in dramatic roles. I mean, you're out here looking for attention, selling your bath water and all that nonsense. Yeah, American Eagle jean ad was oversexed. Like, I'm sick of it. Put on some clothes, have some decency, leave something to the imagination. And it's trending to the point where this is the trend for this summer. I love it. I think this is a win for modesty, okay? Because I'm over the sexuality being so blatant and obvious, because you don't need to be naked to prove you're sexy. Okay, you can be dressed like a lady and be sexy. You don't have to do that because this is no longer sexy anymore. You've now made yourself the sex object, and women are okay with that. Like, you're okay with it. Like, you're not, it's like, seriously, you're okay with this. And if that's what you want to do, go ahead and do that. But I don't got to sit here and indulge it. I don't got to act like that. I don't got to watch these movies. Okay. And neither does the rest of society, because I'm out here making a soap opera, Life Through a Lens, okay, based off of the conflict between Candace Owens and Turning Point, okay, inspired by, so think Law and Order, okay, inspired by. So in this, I have a married couple that, obviously are going to be intimate. They kiss, a blazer comes off, the dialogue is there, and then cut to the next scene. I'm trusting the audience, you guys, to know clearly, as Glenda Jackson said, there's a bit of slight screwing going on. And I didn't have to make the characters naked. I didn't have to give you a graphic sex scene, especially with cartoons. I didn't have to do any of that to make you understand that that is what happened. Okay? Like, I'm sick of it. You don't have to write graphic sex scenes, but it does mean that it is a choice. This is not because it has to be there, Mr. Nolan. This is a choice for those of you who wanted to go to the Houston rodeo looking like soft porn cowgirl actresses, because you didn't have to do that. That was a choice, knowing this was supposed to be a family-friendly event, that you did not have to go there looking like 304s, okay, in these, what I used to call flatbush dresses. If you're from New York, especially Brooklyn, you know what that looks like. You know what that is, the flatbush dress. Okay, now we call it the hood prom. I felt like mine was nicer. But that was a choice, okay? That was a choice. Your daughters and the parents are saying that dressing like rich ass 304s is okay.
But a nice slut.
But the rest of society, like the principals and the teachers, don't have to let you in. You have been barred. That's simple. And that if you got an issue with women dressing modestly, well, we don't care, because guess what? You can't go on the airport in the airports or go on the airplanes being dressed inappropriately. You won't be allowed in certain restaurants if you're not going to dress modestly. You don't have to be accepted into civilized society if you're not going to dress modestly. And as far as the movies and television shows go, I don't have to watch if you're not going to be respectable and have some sense of decency and dignity, and not constantly use graphic sex scenes to tell your story. People, pan to the window in every sense of the phrase. So you guys get in the comment sections and let me know, how do you feel about this trend as it relates to panning to the window? bringing decency back into our entertainment as well as into how we do things in our real lives, dressing, engaging with each other. Like, how do you feel about that? I'm excited about it. I think it's amazing. I think this is an obvious win. Filmmakers and creators like myself are bringing that back in our own content, from the short story that I'm writing into the cartoon soap opera that I created so far. Like, you don't need sex in order to show sex appeal, and you don't need nakedness in order to capture intimacy. And this is just how it is. It's how it used to be, and I intend to bring that back in my work. And so I hope you guys are enjoying it. Head over to my Substack, where you guys will have access to my short story, Daughter of Two Worlds. It is a science fiction. I am creating other stories as well. And again, you will have those values of modesty and dignity, and you can have intimacy and sexuality without being oversexed. And that's what I intend to capture with my work. There's a pan to the window, okay, in how I dress and in my narrative. So it's not impossible. It literally is a choice. And I love that today's society is choosing to pan to the window. So let me know in the comment sections. I love you guys. Take the time to like this video, share this video. Thank you for sticking with me to the end. Okay. Subscribe again, like, share, get into the comments. Have a wonderful night. I love you guys all. I love all of you guys. God bless. And of course, because it's me, Kepla.